there might be just a little bit more downside. We should be off to the races back into higher prices. Bitcoin is that close to a major bounce back to the upside. I have today good news and bad news that we're going to talk about. So don't miss out on this and let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on this Saturday. I did not want normally to make a video. I was so close to not make a video, but then I saw something in the charts that led me to change my mind and to come out here. And therefore, we should directly jump into the Bitcoin CME chart. So currently, the Bitcoin price does not look like that we are creating a CME gap, because if we open tomorrow around the same levels that we are currently at on the spot market, then we are basically opening where we closed yesterday, and that means no CME gap, and that would be fine. You know, we would then most likely get continuation here to the upside. Also, if we come a little bit lower, we will not come that low, and I expect a quick bounce back to the upside. It's not not on the CME chart, but before we're actually opening CME. So there is a high likelihood that we are just keeping the current level tomorrow and then just keep going higher from there. But in the meantime, there is a scenario where we come a little bit lower. Currently, on the daily chart, we still get supported from that big green super trend ribbon here. As long as that's the case, there is nothing to worry about. We can technically go all the way down to the bottom here to $67,700, $800, and it would be still not bearish for the Bitcoin price action, as long as we are not dropping below that, close the daily candle here, and get rejected and continue to go into lower levels. Again, I'm not expecting this to happen, that this ribbon is going to flip, but there might be just a little bit more downside in Bitcoin. Doesn't have to happen, but it can happen, and I'm going to show you here in a moment the exact level on the 12-hourly chart. So first of all, some good news on the 12-hourly chart. The indicators have almost completely resetted and are in oversold conditions here. The the RSI is still in bullish territory and is about to turn around here, but that does not mean that we cannot get a quick move down here to $67,800 approximately and bounce from here back to the upside. That would also make a lot of sense in terms of the VPVR, here the volume traded area, because we would then into the top section of the biggest underlying historical traded area, which should give us definitely support. And from there then coming here back into the $70,000 range. If you want to trade these trades with me together and you need more money, guys, then go to Bybit, deposit $100 and claim your $500 airdrop position absolutely for free. You can, with these $500, keep all the profits that you make. The only thing that you need to do is sign up there, deposit $100, claim the airdrop voucher in the rewards hub, use the voucher, keep all the profits, withdraw the profits if you want to do so, or just keep trading with it. And again, the entry levels that I'm currently looking at, when we are going here now into the 15 minutes chart, the first level for an entry would be slightly here around $69,000 at the bottom of the range, because we have lost here on the 15 minutes chart the mid-range level currently, and is also confirmed as resistance, as we now twice retested this level close to the $70,000 mark. Also, the indicators are not looking extremely bullish to me currently, have to say it, but it's a really short time frame. This can change really quickly. If we are just keeping choppier sideways over the weekend into tomorrow morning, then I expect by tomorrow at some point in my evening, which will be for most of you, if you're in the US, will be your morning or your afternoon in Europe. At that point, most likely we will be again here close to the top section, which will still not lead to a big CME gap. So just that you know. And so that's what I'm expecting. So either sideways chop, or we start to come here down a little bit. And again, it's not the end of the world when this is going to happen. So because first of all, on the 4-hourly chart, the MDX algo scalp gradient is still here cooling down. We can technically get here one more move to the downside based on the gradients. They are also in confluence with what I have shown on the higher time frames. where we come down to the weekly open, and look where the weekly open sits, almost at $67,800. Again, some confluence there. And as long as we would get support from the weekly open, I would not be that much concerned of more downside, as long as we are holding the weekly open. And another reason why I'm not really concerned if we get a small shakeout to the downside is that we are getting already reversal indications here. So we have already a bullish divergence here on the 4-hourly chart. And you see, usually when we get these reversal indications, price tend to go up from there. So now we got a reversal indication only here on the reactor indicator. We need to warm up a little bit in terms of the gradient and get the turnaround. And once we're getting this, we should be off to the races back into higher prices. And the trade setup here is still valid. So current levels would be good for an entry, but now you're asking yourself, hey, you said maybe it goes a little bit lower. Don't enter with everything. That's what I'm telling you right now. Don't enter with everything to build a position here. Enter here, I would enter with like 30% of the money that I want to use on that trade. If we are breaking above $70,400 and close a 4-hourly candle there, then you can add there the rest. If not, and we are coming actually down to the weekly open here you want to add the other 70%. And if you have, let's say, a 5x leverage trade, on 5x leverage, you can just write it out. It doesn't matter. You will not get liquidated, so on that trade. If you have a 10x leverage trade, I would set my stop loss around, here, $65,400. There I would set my stop loss then in that specific scenario. We're going into the liquidation levels. Here, you see, again, more confluence where we could come a little bit lower because we have some over-leveraged long positions here, 100x and 50x positions, all the way down to $67,900 once again, which gives credence to a small flush before we then bounce back here to the upside. Currently, we are holding still above the EMA ribbon and above the 50 moving average. That is some slightly bullish signs that the bulls are still in control, but lose both of them, and it would coincidentally happening with both of them at the same time, then we are most likely getting this flush before we then return back to the upside. The underlying high leverage liquidity down here, all the way down to the 200 moving average, will remain untouched in my opinion. I can be wrong, but I don't see it happening. And I'll show you here on the next chart why I'm not seeing it. Here over the last week, the liquidity that has built up in open interest on the leverage side goes also only, I would say, as low as $67,500. So that is, for me, the last point where bears can drive it down to, unless something crazy happens again, some war breaks out somewhere else, Iran sends more rockets, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill already, So if something like this happens, then of course it can happen and we go lower. But from a technical perspective, and from a liquidity perspective, that is the lowest point that I see before we turn this around. Otherwise, best case scenario would be that we're just touching briefly $68,300, $68,000, almost $800, and getting from here the bounce back to the upside once we grab the liquidity down below here, and then drive it all the way back up to $73,000 to take all the liquidity on the short side that has currently also built up here in these price levels. On my trade here on ZoomX, not gonna lie, yesterday I was briefly when we pumped here to $71,600 with both trades again in a profit. On Bitcoin, a little bit, was not that bad. On Link was also, it was not much, was like $500 or something. So, but I was on both actually again in profit. Now you see both are massively down again. Again, full transparency, guys. I keep holding them because I still expect that we are getting a bounce here. I might lose the Link trade. I just opened a new one, or I will actually I will take something out of the Bitcoin trade to save the Link trade. That's what I'm actually going to do. That's what I'm going to do later. So, but here on Bitcoin, I'm not concerned that we're going to touch my liquidation price. And even if we would get close to it, again, I would just add then more to this position. So let's say we go really below $67,400, then I will deposit a little bit more money to make sure that I will not get liquidated. But I will hold this position because I still believe that we are really, really close to a bounce here in the next 48 hours. Again, if you want to stand a chance next week to win on ZoomX $500, again, I give away twice per week $500. Deposit $100. First of all, sign up with the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Deposit $100, open one single trade, even if it's $1, doesn't matter, in, out, close, done. And you stand a chance to win $500 that you can trade with on ZoomX. So take advantage of that while it's lasting. At the end of the video, I will announce 2 winners today, because the one that I draw, I think Tuesday or Wednesday it was, that guy never messaged me. So there you go. I give away another $500. So today, twice $500, guys. When we're looking at the funding rates for Bitcoin specifically are telling us that Bitcoin is ready also from a funding rate perspective to go back to the upside. We have here negative funding rates, which is normally a sign that Bitcoin is reversing in the short term at some point. Like I said, I give it 48 hours, maximum 72 hours, and you are going to see that Bitcoin is returning into higher price levels here once again. Just something that I also want to point out, around the election, we might get crazy price swings, and they can intensify also the closer we actually get to the election. Just something that you need to be aware of. So don't risk all your money right now and trade with small position sizes until the election is over. And then the Bitcoin dominance is raging here to the upside. So we have finally touched the upward sloping resistance line. Again, guys, that will be broken. We go higher. There's no doubt in my mind that we go higher here, especially when Bitcoin turns around and breaks above $71,000 here once again, and then continues to pump into new all-time high. So remember, 61% more or less will be the level that I'm looking at for that reversal. And you are seeing we are getting every single day now closer to it. Every day that we are getting closer to it means one day closer to altcoin season that we so desperately are waiting for. Now, Ethereum is still holding the upward sloping support line. We are a little bit below the buy zone here, but still a good level in my opinion to buy right now. I would just potentially just wait for the current 12-hourly candle to close, which will coincide with the daily close. Because like I said, if Bitcoin gets that small flush to the downside, Ethereum will also get that small flush to the downside, and you maybe get lucky to buy at $2,420. If you have a long-term horizon, it doesn't really matter if you buy now or 2% lower. It really doesn't matter. If you want to scalp trade or day trade, it's different. So then 2% make a huge difference on leverage. But otherwise, you can just adhere to your long-term position. Then over the next couple of days, I also expect then a retest of the downward sloping resistance line. And the next time that we come up here, because we're running here into this apex, should be the point where we're then breaking to the upside. For Solana came back down here now to this underlying support zone. Remember what I said, guys, that if we come back down here, it's a good moment to buy and to open a position here. I have currently a Solana position running. I did actually not intend to open that position. I wanted to open a position on Bitcoin on another exchange, and then I messed it up. And because Solana was actually the coin that was selected and I did not pay attention, so I opened a Solana position. So now I have a Solana position. So here the stochastic RSI is about to give us a buy signal with the daily close. The MACD potentially turns then slightly already around, and the RSI is also looking like that it wants to turn around here. Remember, Solana is right now definitely one of the stronger coins in the market overall, with all the meme coins that are happening on Solana. So I would not be surprised if we are potentially only going to like $162 and get a strong bounce straight back to like 170 or even a little bit higher. So here this trade setup is valid, and I would trade accordingly. The next one is Sui. Sui yesterday, a really nice move here to $2.10. Since then, we retraced quite a bit, but the 50 moving average is giving us support. And here also the indicators are slowly turning around. So if I go here now to a 12-hourly chart, also here the stochastic looks like that it wants to turn around. The same with the RSI, and the MACD will most likely give us continuation. Only bearish thing that I see here with Sui right now is that we have lost the 50 moving average, but that might be also reclaimed quite quickly once Bitcoin is turning around and coming here back into higher prices. And at the same time, we need to break here this downward sloping resistance line, because also yesterday when we spiked here into the golden ratio, we got technically rejected from this downward sloping resistance line. That just shows you how much resistance is actually sitting in there. But once we're closing a 4-hourly candle above that level, we are going to break also the golden ratio really, really quickly. Doge is currently a little bit below our buy zone and touched almost the 50 moving average. So if you opened yesterday a position here in that buy zone over here, no problem at all, guys. Don't worry. What I would do is either if we touch the 50 moving average, dollar cost average your position down, or wait that we potentially drop here into the 15 cents buy zone and adhere a little bit more. And then you can just ride it out to the upside. I would be not worried for continuation here to the upside on Doge, because also on the higher time frames, see the stochastic is already slightly turning around. The MACD is bullish. The RSI also here already curving back to the upside. There is continuation coming in the next 48 hours. I am absolutely not worried about this. If you want to trade Doge on a decentralized platform because you cannot use Bybit or ZoomX, then go to AlphaX. They give right now $100. If you deposit $100 on top of that, absolutely for free, just for signing up, guys. No, just for signing up, they give you $100. That's what it is. Yeah. So, and if you deposit on top of that $100, then you also stand a chance to win $500 here on AlphaX by next week again, because also by the end of the video, I will give $500 away on AlphaX. So you have today the chance to win $1,500 in total by the end of the video. So keep watching, guys. We're getting close to it, but we are not yet there. The next coin that I'm currently having an eye on is COTI, because here on the daily chart, the stochastic is already at the bottom, the RSI turning around, the MACD not super bearish here. We have here really small candles on the histogram, and I have two areas that I'm interested in to buy COTI. Either of the break of this downward sloping trend line here, that is a multi-month trend line coming from March, or that horizontal support, underlying support here at 7 cents 0.4, and the downward sloping resistance line would be 9 cents 9, 9 cents 4, or 9 cents 5, depending on how long we need to break it. So if I only measure from here 7 cents 0.5 roughly, if I get it, and I enter here and I trade this to 15 cents, so that is a 100% move. A 100% move, and this can happen really quickly. Look here, the last time, how long did this take? An 80% move in 12 days from the bottom. So really quickly. And here from, if it happens from here into 15 cents, it's still roughly 50%. Yeah, roughly 51% from the downward sloping resistance line. So whatever happens first, that's how I'm going to trade this, and I will use leverage on that to multiply my money, but I will not go crazy because COTI is quite volatile. Don't use more than like 5-6x leverage on this. I would not use anything more, and my stop loss will be here at 7 cents if we come down to the horizontal level, and if we are breaking the downward sloping trend line, then wherever the lowest point within here that triangle shape is, here from here onwards, that will become my stop loss. So maybe my stop loss will be here when we are breaking out over here. Maybe we get one lower point here, so then this will become my stop loss. We're gonna see, we're gonna see in the next couple of days how this is going to play out. Of course, I'm gonna show it also then to you, depending on how price action is behaving here. So on Uniswap, we are completely back in the green zone here. Remember, guys, good area to buy. We could come a little bit lower. I don't see much downwards pressure here. Again, a small fake out to the downside, potentially to $7 or close to $7, and from there bounce. And also here, once we come back up to the downward sloping resistance line here, this time we are going to break it for good, and then we're off to the races in direction of $11. The next one is AVAX. AVAX actually comes down now here into the underlying support zone and that I had pointed out yesterday and first canceled it because I thought, okay, hey, we are getting supported from the upward sloping support line, which we now broke. So here we could come all the way down to like 23 cents, $23.60 approximately, because the stochastic on the 4-hourly chart just gave us a sell signal. The MACD is bearish, the RSI pointing down. So there could be a little bit more downside. And also here on the daily chart, next 48 hours should also result in a bounce, which would mean that no matter how low we are going here in the next 24 hours, I consider this a fake out because I expect that we come straight back up here to the upward sloping support line. And then this whole move can be considered a deviation. The last one is Phantom. Phantom also here right now breaking slightly below the buy zone. Here, worst case, I see a touch of the 200 moving average because the indicators have also more or less bottomed out on the daily already and are also showing signs that they are ready to turn around. So also here, I'm not worried too much about what's going to happen. Like I said, potentially one quick step down here and then we come back up and continue to go back to the upside. So if you're looking to enter a Phantom trade, you can build a position right now, just not with all the money that you want to allocate to that trade, and you can add then more at the 200 moving average. Lose the 200 moving average with like 2 daily closes, then I would close my position wherever the price is, doesn't matter, unless we are reclaiming the 200 moving average. But if we're 2 days below the 200 moving average, that's where I would close my position and get out. The winners for today. I still need the random number. So today's winners, let me see here. So 26 to 62. 26 to 62 for Zumex. The first number is 45. 45. 315221981. If that's your account number on Zumex, you have won $500. Congratulations. Send an email to my team, info@amcrypto.us, within 24 hours from right now. Not when you see the video, right now, from where I publish the video. If you don't do that, I will give tomorrow the $500 to somebody else. So be quick here. So then the next one, 58. So 58, the other one, 349267909. You also won $500. Same thing, send an email to info@amcrypto.us with a screenshot that this account belongs to you. And now to Zumex. Zumex is from 3 to 13. 3 to 13, so number 5. So Zumex, Alpha X account. 16781049. If that's your account, again, send an email to info@amcrypto.us and show us with a screenshot that this account belongs to you. You have 24 hours and then your account will be credited. My team will take care of it. And congratulations to all the winners, guys. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I hope to see you with more money tomorrow.